In this video, I'll be going through the skill of how do you apply the quotient rule under the chapter of differentiation. Okay, so let's look at what is applying the quotient rule from your notes. The quotient rule states that if I have this equation here, y equals to u over v, whereby u is your numerator and v is your denominator, and u and v are functions of x, and your denominator is not equal to 0, dy over dx, the differentiated form of y will be simply here, denominator times differentiated form of the numerator minus away numerator times differentiate denominator, the whole thing divided by your denominator square. So let's visualize this using one simple example. So let's look at the example below over here. If I want to differentiate this equation here, I want to differentiate y to find dy over dx. Okay, over here I have a numerator, I have a denominator. So maybe let's color them so that you can visualize more clearly over here. I let my numerator here, let's say, be green color. I let my denominator here be blue. Okay. So let's say I want to apply the quotient rule to differentiate this fraction. Quotient rule we usually apply when I see a fraction whereby numerator and denominator are functions of x. So let's say if I want to find dy over dx, let me put the quotient rule there. Okay. Very simply, dy over dx is simply over here. Okay, so I follow the quotient rule. Denominator times differentiate the numerator. So denominator here is square root 2x minus 1. I will write this as, let me write it over here. 2x minus 1, the whole thing power half. Okay, easier to write your square as half, so it's easier to visualize. Then times differentiate the numerator. Differentiate 1 minus x will give me negative 1. Okay, now quotient rule states you must minus. Next step, I keep the numerator here, differentiate denominator. So I will keep the numerator here, which is minus away 1 minus x. Then now I will differentiate my denominator, which is square root of 2x minus 1. Differentiate this, I'll get half times 2x minus 1 power minus 1. So half minus 1 is negative half. Then times differentiate inside the bracket, which will give me differentiate 2x minus 1 is 2. Okay. Then now the whole thing over here divided by your denominator square. So over here, square root of 2x minus 1, if I square this, I'll get 2x minus 1. Okay. And now my next step is to simply simplify this fraction. So by simplification, I'll get over here, I'll get my negative of 2x minus 1 power half minus away 1 minus x times 2x minus 1 power negative half. This half will multiply to 2. Okay, I'll get this over the denominator 2x minus 1. Then you notice I can actually, to simplify my numerator, I can factorize out 2x minus 1, the whole thing power negative half. So by doing so, I'll get, if I factorize out 2x power minus 1, the whole thing power negative half, I'll be left with the first term. If I were to factorize out power negative half, I will be left with negative 2x minus 1 power 1. Okay? Not sure, you can simply expand back, and you will check that if I were to expand this, I'll get back 1 minus half, which is half for the power. Okay? Then minus away, this second term over here, factorize out 2x minus 1 power negative half, I'm left with 1 minus x. So this will be minus away 1 minus x, close bracket. Okay? Then the whole thing, 2x divided by 2x minus 1. Okay, then from here, if I were to continue to simplify, I'll get, let's say this power negative half, I can bring down this power to the denominator. Okay, so by the fraction over here, denominator will be 2x minus 1 power half times 2x minus 1, which is from this denominator here, multiply to this this expression here, which is brought down to the denominator. My numerator, I'm left with this. Simplify, I'll get minus negative 2x plus 1 minus 1 plus x. Okay, and therefore, by further simplification, we'll get your final answer over here, which is simply Negative 2x plus x will give me negative x in the numerator. And I'm left with 2x minus 1, the whole thing power 3 over 2. And that will be your final answer to differentiate this example. Okay, so I hope that this video helps you to visualize what exactly is the quotient rule. Quotient rule means that, most importantly, first denominator times differentiate numerator, minus away, remember this is a minus, different from your product rule, minus away, keep numerator times differentiate denominator. Then the whole thing divided by your denominator squared. Okay, you need to remember this. This is not in your formula sheet. How do you apply the quotient rule when you have a function y given by a fraction, which contains numerator and denominator, which contains x terms? Okay, so this will be the end of the video. I hope that you have learned how do you apply the quotient rule to differentiate any expression or function.